Ah, welcome everyone to the 1111 Unified Experience, seeding a new earth. Wow, my name is Michaela Ivy, and I am so grateful to be here today with you in this journey of learning how to rethink yourself into a new reality, into a new paradigm. A little bit about me. I call myself an innate well being specialist, a breakthrough coach, a relationship guide. I help individuals and couples and children and elders, anyone who wants to come back and return to a state of gratitude, happiness, and peace. I help people find a good feeling to come back into their heart again, to enjoy the experience of this life. And today you have come here because you are ready for a powerful breakthrough in your life. And so sit back, enjoy, open your mind, open your heart, let go of everything you think you know, and listen deeply. My teacher, Sydney Banks, says, hearing is a feeling, and seeing is a knowing. So those are ineffable. So today, what you're going for is a good feeling. So if after coming to this conversation today, to this talk about how to eliminate low quality thoughts to manifest a high quality of life, if you're ready to really hear, to really know how to get out of the way and back into your lane so that you can enjoy this experience and this reality, well, congratulations, you made it. I just want to thank Anastar Maka for inviting me here today, for creating this platform for thought leaders to come together and help create a positive impact on humanity. Yes, that's what we're here for. Who I am is love. What I am here is love, and how I'm here to serve is love. So I also want to thank my teachers. I want to thank Sydney Banks, who is a philosopher who gave the world the three principles, the understanding of mind, thought, and consciousness. And I also want to thank David Key, who is my mentor and teacher and guide in the current moment, who's the one who introduced me to Sydney Banks, to Dr. George and Linda Pransky and Pransky and Associates, and everyone at the Three Principles community for this deeper understanding on the nature of reality and the building blocks for our human psychology. Um, yes, the reason I am so excited to share this information with you today is because this inside out way of seeing life has shifted my life for the better. I received a double master's degree in marriage and family therapy by the age of 27. I was married at the time, and my husband suddenly left me, and I was devastated. And nothing I was learning, or nothing I had learned so far in the different models and theories that I was learning, was helping me to return to my good feelings again. I had lost my way. I, in a sense, got into the rumble strips of my mind, or rather the grumble strips, where everything seemed like a problem and an issue. I felt deeply sad, deeply lonely. So I got my master's degree, but I stopped doing therapy. Was getting my hours. I got 1,700 hours under my belt, and I decided to find out if I can heal myself, because I think the most important thing to do in helping others to heal is first do your own work. So clean up your own room, right? If we want peace on the planet, we must look within. We must just really focus on our own plate, not look at anyone else's, clean our own room, and come to understand how bringing more love and greatness and inspiration into the world really happens. So I have been uncovering so many different ways and techniques of coming into this greatness, but nothing brought me into this true understanding of what greatness is as the three principles and the power of thought. So I'd like to start on that, the power of thought. And the power of thought is the most important and least recognized principle of reality and our human experience. And thought is actually a divine gift. It's just a tool to help us guide the direction of our lives. So it's here to help us create reality. And as Sydney Banks puts it, thought is not reality, yet it is through thoughts that our realities are created. It is what we as humans put into our thoughts that dictates what we think about life. So, what we think is the vibration that what we see in reality. So, the power of thought is understanding that how we see life, how life appears is through thought, and that we are the thinkers, that we're the ones doing the thought in any given moment. And what feelings are. So let me just back up. The building blocks for our human psychology is thought, feeling, mood, and mindset. And for the sake of this conversation today and these 20 to 30 minutes that I have to spend with you today, I'm really going to focus on the power of thought. I think that's the best place to start. And I'm going to explain a little bit more about where feelings come from and the nature of mood and what feelings really are is our thinking state. Our feelings are a barometer to the quality of our thinking in any given moment. So, if our awareness goes down, if our consciousness sinks below a certain point, we go into a low mood. And mood is actually like the weather. So it's omnipotent. You never know what's going to happen. You never know if you're going to wake up on the wrong side of the bed. However, you can target and understand moods and how they serve you to recognize where your quality of thinking is in any given moment. And when you can see that your quality of thinking is contaminated and you cannot trust your thinking, and when you're in a low mood, because we all have moods, everybody. So I'm not trying to get anyone to go into a Pollyanna state and where we're always going to be in a high level mood, unless you're enlightened. And that's a possibility. It's a possibility that we can all become enlightened inside, seeing that we are love and light. However, this is a process. Mastery is a process. And yeah, I'm still learning every day, but it does get easier and it does get more fun to learn how to get out of the way of a low mood and the quality of thinking that happens in that state. So in the title, it says eliminate low quality thinking. I think really what I meant to say is, and or really what makes it more sense is to say, getting out of the way and recognizing when you can't trust your thinking. Okay, so how do you recognize when you can trust your thinking? Great question. Well, when you have a good feeling. It is that warm feeling in your heart that happens. In a sense, it's room temperature feelings. And when you're feeling that, what happens is you have access to the gentle boss called wisdom. And this gentle boss called wisdom, this universal mind, which is much greater than your personal one, because we have personal thought, personal mind, and personal consciousness, and then universal thought, universal mind, universal consciousness. And those things never change. Those are spiritual truths. And then we're having our human experience. And what's so great about having a human experience is to recognize that you're flawed. That's right. We're not here to be perfect. We're here to learn. We're here to grow. We're here to inspire. We're here to step into greatness in all aspects of this human experience. We're here to wake up to the fact that nothing outside of us can make us feel anything. And that's a renaissance in psychology that just the majority of people haven't woken up to yet, is that the outside world, the situations that are going on in your life and the situations that you have been through um, are not causing your feeling state. It seems like it. It seems like that to-do list that you have is causing a lot of stress and anxiety. It's easy to blame the to-do list because it seems like it comes from there. You take a look at it, you're like, oh my God, that's 25 things I have to do today. And time is so fast. And how am I going to get all that done? And then you forget you're the one thinking, because we're constantly going into a hypnotic state where we drop into temporary amnesia. And in that place of temporary amnesia, we forget that we're the ones creating the thought. And when we create the thought, we create the feeling. And then the feeling creates the behavior. So it goes thought, feeling, behavior. So in order to change a behavior, we don't go to the feeling state. No, we got to bypass the feeling, because the feeling, remember, is just like, it's like the dash of your car when your engine's heating up and it's like flashing hot, hot, hot. That feeling state is just letting you know that your quality of thinking is contaminated. If you're feeling angry, if you're feeling pessimistic, if you're feeling like there's so many problems and issues going on, this low mood quality state has it has you going into habitual thinking, circular thinking. It looks like the problem is just the tip of the iceberg of a much more larger systemic issue that's happening with you. And there's also a sense of immediacy. That's how you know you're in a low mood and you can't really trust your thoughts, is because you want to get to the problem right now. You want to talk about it. You want to share all your feelings. And what I'm suggesting is that's not a good idea. It's a common misconception that to be authentic and to be real is to share all of our feelings with the person that we're with. However, that's not always a good idea, because if we're in a low mood and we're feeling really negative and bitter and angry and resentful and frustrated, then what we're going to be expressing is going to come through, because communication is just a pipe that feelings come through. So if your quality of thinking has dipped below this state of clarity, and you'll know when you're clear because you'll be having a good feeling, and that's everything. A good feeling. And if anything I'm saying today brings you to a good feeling, then you got it, and it will keep growing. Good feelings grow because it's positive. It feels positive, because it's really important to understand that positive thoughts are more real than negative thoughts. And I'll tell you why. because negative thoughts imply a fear of the future, and it presupposes that you're unresolved from the past. And when you tune into those two states, the past and the future, which you have no control over anymore because they're both ghosts, but when you're stuck, your consciousness is in both of those realities. It doesn't feel good. It hurts. You feel traumatized. So the most important thing is to bring your attention to the present moment. And how you get into the present moment is you find a positive thought. Now, there's 70,000 thoughts happening in your mind in any given day. Okay, that's a lot of thoughts, right? So, looking for a positive thought means bringing more warmth and goodwill and respect and having faith for this experience and trusting that you will find the answers. That is a positive thought. Positive thought, you don't even actually have to create a positive thought. That's the cool thing. Like change doesn't happen. You don't have to like do something different for big change to happen. Big change happens when you let go of what isn't serving you anymore. So when you let go of the negative thought and you allow the forgiveness to happen, you recognize that everyone's just doing the best they can in any given moment. We're all just doing the best we can in any given moment. And that is the truth. And we bring forgiveness inside our hearts, compassion, and deep understanding for being flawed. Yeah. Our caregivers are flawed. The elders are flawed. Children are flawed. We're all flawed. When we come into this human experience, we're flawed. But just like babies, we don't really come with contaminated thoughts. That happens over time, you see. And it comes over time by living in a misunderstanding. And all of our problems and all of these issues is just a manifestation of misunderstanding. Because if you had a deeper understanding about what is going on for you, you would never be living in a crisis. And crisis doesn't feel good, does it? When you're feeling anxious and insecure, being insecure is just a human mental illness. Feeling insecure comes from the little mind, that comes from the ego. Because there's two different ways that you can access your mind. There's the left brain and the right brain. The right brain is the mystical. That's the higher mind. That's where your deep wisdom comes from. And the left brain, it's very logical. It tries to understand things by putting things into categories. It can actually make things up. Because oftentimes you are thinking a thought that's actually not really true. We live in a state where we forget to validate, to truly make sure that the thought that we're having is true, because not every thought is true. If you have 70,000 thoughts in a single day, are you saying that every thought is a valid thought? Is a true thought? No. I mean, some of our like that basic deep core wounding that I think the collective consciousness has gone through sounds something like, I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy. Now, let me say something about that. That is not original, okay? That's called plagiarism. You pick that up, but it's not real. But it seems real when it's happening to you, right? It's almost a imposter syndrome that comes in. You're like, I'm actually not really good enough for this person or this experience. And well, don't trust your thinking right there. That's a low quality thought. That just means that your awareness has dropped down to a place where you're not living in understanding. And I like what Viktor Frankl said. He is the psychiatrist that survived the Holocaust. And he said, between stimulus and response is the power of choice. That is called free will. Free will not to believe every thought you think. The free will to say, I'm not going to give that thought any more energy. I'm not going to indulge that thought. I'm going to distract myself and think about something else. Because you can't really drop the thought. It doesn't work like that. Because the thought happened. You had the thought. But what you can do is not focus on it and not feed it and not give it energy. That's the power of thought, right? That's the power to recognize that you're the one doing the thinking. And when you recognize that you're in a low mood because your feelings, you don't feel good inside, you're feeling crunchy, you're feeling irritated, you're feeling annoyed, you're feeling issues and problems all over the place. You're trying to figure out your problems. So when you could create the space to say, oh, silly me, I'm in a low mood right now. My thoughts can't be trusted at all. That's the power of manifesting a high quality of life. When you can turn off the car, pull your foot off the throttle, slow down, take a deep breath, drop into a place of love and gratitude for the challenging experience in front of you. And know in time when you're not thinking about the problem, when you're not trying to figure out the problem, an answer will come from that mystical side of your brain, from that universal mind, that universal consciousness, that universal thought will come in out of the blue. The penny will drop. You will have an insight and an awareness that will allow you to see something new, which will allow you to start over, which will allow your awareness to come up and find the solution to whatever's in front of you. So I have found a really great way to start tracking yourself and retraining your mind, right? So how to rethink yourself into a new reality, how to wake yourself up from low quality thinking. Well, one way is just to notice that you're in it, right? And I talked about that earlier. That's just noticing that you're feeling negative. You're feeling very pessimistic about it, something. You are, you're really wanting a sense of immediacy on solving the problem or the issue that's going on. And whatever the problem seems to be, it seems to be a much bigger problem then. So once you see those qualities in your thinking state, that's all it takes. And all you have to say is, oops, do over, let's start again. And distract yourself. So I like to go outside into nature. I like to take a walk, meditate, close my eyes, put some music on, dance, sing a song, do some journaling, whatever it is for you, read a book, whatever it is for you, go to that. Go to that place that brings you into a good feeling where you feel soft. Because in that space of feeling soft and centered, you're receptive and you're receptive to hearing, oh, that's what they meant by that. Or, oh, I really like to know more about the reason they said that. In that space, you're actually really open rather than feeling insecure and being wrapped up in a negative thought virus spiral feedback loop with someone in your experience with you, right? And no one can bring you into a good feeling except for yourself. We are fully responsible. It's our responsibility to rethink ourselves into a new experience. Remember that outside in idea that someone can do something different for you or say something different, and that's going to create the change, the real radical change. But that's not true, because then you're relying on the outside world to fit into some perfect little bubble of the way it needs to be in order for you to have a new experience, a new emotional experience. And you absolutely don't need anyone to do anything different for you to have a new experience. And I know this is true because I have had challenges and issues with my dad, with my brother, with people in my life. Like, it hasn't been easy. But now that I understand the three principles of mind, thought, and consciousness, I am much more equipped to love the person where they're at and get curious and ask, what do you mean? Can you tell me more? Rather than get caught up in reacting and needing them to lower their tone or any of those things, rather just to be present for the fact that the other person is in a really low mood. Their mood has dipped and they could use you stepping into more warmth and beauty in your own heart. And that's how you manifest a high quality of life, is through a good feeling in your own heart, bringing goodwill, bringing respect back into the game of life. Thank you so much for coming today. You can find out more about me. I'm happy to give you a free session, free of charge, at partnership.us. That's partnership, like partner, but instead partnership.us. My name is Michaela Ivy. Thank you so much for coming to my call. And yes, look for the good feeling, everybody. Get out of that low quality of thinking, get into higher quality of thought, and experience a whole new paradigm. Blessings and happy portal day.